Good morning, everybody. Miss LeMay here. Happy, what is today? Tuesday. I'm trying a new recording website. So today we actually have 15 minutes of possible recorded instruction versus just 5. So today's a great day. I wanted to show you and let you zoom in on the Writer's Workshop tab because I've started to organize a few things in a different way, and I wanted to remind you what is here. So we are getting back to our literary essay. On your stream, you will have literary essay resources. So TPs, teaching points and materials. We have our film, different things we're analyzing, a few teaching point videos, our thesis template, different things you can try. And then today we have an anchor chart all about what actually is in a lit essay. You also have your literary essay notes. So this is your video notes. These are mine, but you all have a copy of yours. Those are the notes. Next thing you have is your possible thesis sentences for the Panye video. You have your copy, and then I actually have an example of my notes over here because I have 3 possible thesis sentences that I can use. The characters are, the character learns, and the text teaches. And then you all have your copies over here with your fabulous writing. Next thing is the actual lit essay rough draft. No one has used the lit essay rough draft yet because I just created it this morning. Your thesis sentence is separate. Your notes are separate. Your teaching point materials are separate. So today let's jump in and take a look at what actually goes into our literary essays. Our literary essays have 3 main parts. We have an introduction, we have a few body paragraphs, and we have a conclusion at the end. So today we are going to be starting with our introduction and setting up the framework of our body paragraphs. So this, everybody, is at the very end of our teaching points. With our introductions, we are going to be hooking the reader, naming the author and text, and stating our claim. What our claim is a fancy word for our thesis. We are going to give our thesis and some supports. In our body paragraphs, we have each body paragraph is a different support. We give evidence, and then we explain it. And then we have transitions. So it sounds complicated, but every paragraph will go the same. You'll have your opinion, you'll give evidence, explain it, and transition to the next paragraph. And then at the end, we restate our thesis and supports. And then we leave the reader with something to think about by tying the whole thesis together. So today our goal is to be thinking about our introduction, and I am going to share with you how we are going to get started. In order to start, everybody, I need to look at my possible thesis sentences and think about what I would like to actually write about. I think I would like to write about the characters are determined. Because you created 3 possible thesis sentences, you're only using one. You are going to use the one that you like the most. So I am choosing the characters are determined. So I went back to the main stream, and in order to get started, I need to click on my rough draft. You all have your copy, I have mine. So if I click on LeMay copy, I have a blank piece of Word document writing space. So I can in the middle write lit essay, and I can put it in the very middle, and I can say something like by Miss LeMay. Alrighty. So after looking at the chart, I know that literary essays have 3 different pieces. I have an introduction, I have body paragraphs, and then I also have a conclusion. Okay, So I'm just typing that in for myself so I remember what is going on. So I've got my introduction, my body paragraphs, and my conclusion. And everybody, I said I wanted to write about the characters are determined. So today my goal is to write down my thesis sentence in my introduction, and then I can start to set up my body paragraphs. So here was my thesis sentence. The characters are determined because. The characters are determined because. Now this is when I list my 3 reasons. Even though they're listed as 1, 2, and 3 over here, I need to actually write a sentence. So I've got, they made a soccer pitch together. They took their shoes off to play. Let's see. So the characters are determined because they made a soccer pitch when they didn't have space to play, comma. They were determined because they found a way to play that they felt more comfortable with. That's when they took their shoes off. So I don't necessarily need to say they took their shoes off, but they were determined because they found a way to play that made them feel more comfortable. And they were also determined because the townspeople's attitudes didn't mess up their focus. So if you notice, I have 3 different examples in here. So they made a soccer pitch. I'm going to make each one of these different colors so I can make sure I've got 3. They made a place that they took their shoes off so that they could play when they were more comfortable. And then the townspeople's attitude didn't mess up their focus. So this is my thesis sentence. I have the characters are determined because of this reason, and this reason. So that is my introduction. The only other thing, everybody, we might want to take notice of right now is if we go down to what makes a literary essay. So I've got my thesis and my supports. We do need to name the text and the author. So that's one thing I need to do today too. So I can say in the video clip, Pawnee FC, the characters are determined. So I did introduce what we're watching. So you could say something like in the video clip, in the soccer video, but I wanted to introduce who the characters are. We don't know the author, but at least we have what the clip is titled. So I can go back and say, okay, name an author, great. I put my thesis in. I'm going to hook the readers later. The last thing I do want to do today is set up my body paragraphs because we are going to have one of those examples per paragraph. So you'll have an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So down here, I am going to have 3 body paragraphs. 1, 2, and 3. Each one of these body paragraphs is a different example. So they made the pitch. That's going to be what body paragraph number 1 is about. Body paragraph 2 is they found a way to be more comfortable. And number 3 is that the town didn't mess up their attitude. Okay, and then later on, we are going to expand these 3 body paragraphs. We are going to add transitions, add a hook, and focus on our conclusion. So today as writers, everybody, make sure you are opening up your copy of the literary essay. Today, your job is to write in introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion, write your thesis sentence, and then you can make 1 sentence for each body paragraph. Happy writing!